And we are live with another FOMO Friday. Really excited to look at the markets today with Bits of Wealth. It's just going to be the two of us today. Maybe Bad Price might join. I know Kelvin is out, Nat is out, um, and William is also out today. So it's just going to be the two of us. I know it's the 4th of July holiday here. So even though it's 3rd today, but people are celebrating today. Um, so that's one of the reasons why. But we are excited to dive into the markets. We are here. We are going to be looking at the markets to see what we are anticipating Bitcoin to do. There's been some pretty phenomenal price action with BTC. Of course, the new month was just starting as well. And so usually during, whenever a new month starts, a new quarter starts, a new week starts, there are a lot of false moves. So we were super happy with the pump that we got. But we'll be looking at the markets to see what's coming up next. Bits, how are you doing today?
Doing well, doing well. Enjoying the. I'm also celebrating this 4th of July weekend, but I'm celebrating with
Mm-hmm.
my beautiful long entries that are up massively, that are doing just fantastic.
Incredible.
So, no, look, I'm enjoying
Incredible.
it, but I think there's some fun. There's some fun coming up, and I don't know if we'll get shenanigans like this weekend or next week, but should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We know the markets can get kind of volatile on holidays and stuff like this. So we'll see what happens. But no, doing well. Probably gonna catch like some fireworks type stuff tomorrow, but today just pretty much chilling. We don't do a whole lot the day before. So
Yep.
yeah,
And look at you showing up, Bits,
yeah,
for
100%.
for the community.
Yeah, 100%. No,
Yeah.
look, I think when you're trying to grow, like you really try and show up as much as you can, when you're trying to build your
Mm-hmm.
community out and you're trying to grow your presence. And I mean, I would even say there's so many incentives now. Even I don't know if you saw that recent announcement from X, but then they said they allocated over $1 million to start rewarding people that are live streaming on X on the platform. So I think there's a lot of incentives right now
Oh,
to really start
okay.
growing. And yeah, yeah. So even this would
Mm-hmm.
technically qualify, right? Because we're live streaming it to X. So this will
Mm-hmm.
this will start it's been a while. Like they should have been. I always wondered why the metrics only looked at like posted content and not like spaces metrics, like your engagement, your clicks that you're driving through spaces or through streams. And I think they're maybe making a shift finally, so that'll be pretty cool.
That is incredible. I mean, I can't complain, right?
Yeah, no, look, we've been doing stuff pretty consistently for a while, so I think I'm all about yeah, find ways to reward the people that are showing up, like you said.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing too, like, it's whether it's rain or snow or whatever, you show up for the community. If you are, when you're an entrepreneur, there is no Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It's, whenever
Correct.
you wake up, whenever you go to sleep. And so that matters. But yeah,
Correct.
I mean, there are some incredible opportunities in the markets right now.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get started. Bits, you were spot on that
Thank you. Thank you.
set up. Very, very spot on. In fact, I mean, the way that it played out, just a quick sweep to the liquidity,
Yeah.
um, to the lows, and then a beautiful pump. Uh, Dev, what is it called? Oh my God,
Ash,
the
the
gentleman
gentleman's
suite.
suite. Yeah.
Oh goodness, yes, that predicted it as well. And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, this is probably adding to your confluence. And no, it was incredible. I mean, this is what, like, when you've been in the markets for so long, you've done it consistently, profitably, people can tell who is legit. And
Yeah.
so no, that was an incredible goal. I was hoping for some more downside, and we'll probably get it pretty soon here.
Yeah.
But again, July, I mean, historically speaking, last two bear markets, July was green.
Yeah.
And so anything can happen. But yeah, go take it away,
Correct.
Bits, and then I'll come
Okay.
back to that as well.
All right.
I'll add you there. Oh, sorry. I
Oh, we
tried to
both
add
clicked
and
it.
both clicked at the
We
same
both clicked at the
time.
same time. Yeah, it's all good.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was I mean, it's you have things that you've seen, like you talk about this all the time, right? Like patterns. There's patterns in the market that you see that just from enough time of staring at these charts. Like I saw Gary Cardone had a post the other day where he was talking about he's really into his painting. He does like his oil paintings and the different art that he does. And he asked, like, are you committed to 10,000 hours at a single thing to become great at it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you for a fact, I know I'm above 10,000 hours. I actually think I'm closer to about 20,000 hours in my total like trading and technical analysis journey. I'm probably close to about
Mm-hmm.
20,000 hours. And so even then I'm thinking like, man, 10,000 is like just barely enough to get you just barely competent if we're being honest. Like I really, this is where I have a lot of respect for people that truly like go after that mastery, because it's more. I mean, 10,000 is like it's what gets you started. 10,000 is
Mm-hmm.
you're graduating high school. Like 10,000 is really not that much. And I still have
Mm-hmm.
so much more to go, but yeah, I mean, part of the 10,000 hour thing is like you've seen certain patterns play out, and you know that it's not guaranteed. It's not, you don't know 100%, but because
Mm-hmm.
I am a believer in I'm a believer in luck, in the sense that I do believe, I don't think it's this random thing that some people just get lucky. I think it's a mix of opportunity that happens in life, and then preparation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you're prepared for those opportunities, you essentially create luck for yourself, right?
Yep.
So on Bitcoin, this was what I sent you, right? This is the exact chart that I sent you. I said, look, we have this daily range. This had not happened yet. And I said, look, the whatever side gives first, I'm looking to ride it all the way across the zone, basically, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so this hadn't happened down here. This was before we had, even before that, actually. Let me see here. Leave. It was even before that. It was start new here. So we were essentially doing this. Like we were doing this. We had a bunch of inside bars here. We had this range on this daily candle. And and look, Lady Trader will vouch. I basically said, and I think we spoke about it here on streams as well, where I said, like, look, to me, this is like the quiet game. This is like whoever speaks first loses, essentially, right? Is the way you got to think of it. Like, or a game
Mm-hmm.
where green light, red light, whoever moves first is eliminated. Like you're out.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we saw that we got that move down here, I was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready for that thing to just stick out a little bit, sweep these lows. And if that happens and we can reclaim, because that's always a condition. If you sweep it and you don't reclaim, you can keep going. I wanted to see the
Mm-hmm.
sweep and then the reclaim. And so I was fortunate. I was ready. It was opportunity mixed with me being prepared and ready for this sweep, and I was able to play it. So it's all it really was. Is I was sitting there, I knew what I was looking for, and I was willing to take a shot at it. So we did, and I didn't get in on the initial sweep. I missed that move. There's some people that caught that initial sweep. What I
Mm-hmm.
got in on is I got in on this retest. I got in on this pullback here, and I actually shared this. Oh shoot, no. I shared that I was looking for this pullback here to take that long entry, and I did. So that's where I got in. I got in here. My entry ended up being 58.3, and it's been a beautiful trade so far. It's been a beautiful trade. At this point, though, it is worth calling out, right? Like if we go back to that daily chart, you will notice that we are now all the way across that zone. So I was looking for a move across the zone. Now it's up to the bulls to really demonstrate that this thing can go higher. Because this
Mm-hmm.
was the move I wanted, right? I wanted the fake out and then across the zone, and we're here. Can this go higher? Yes, I've been saying 72K. I still stand by that. But this is where the bulls need to demonstrate that even if there's a pullback, and I'll show you guys where I am looking for a pullback, because I do believe there's an opportunity for a pullback from here, where I would
Mm-hmm.
be looking for a pullback. And then I think bulls absolutely need to step in because we need to push this higher. And then we'll have some levels of interest on the way up where we need to be cautious. But I am still on the side that I think we can get a move above this high here. I think we'll go 68K to 72K, maybe even up here to 74. So um
Mm-hmm.
and in the end, all of that is still just a lower high. Like nothing
Lower
really
high. Yep.
changes. Yeah, nothing really changes in the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I also posted this on where is it? Because I know I posted this on X. I made a post and I got some comments on it, but I believe it was not that one. Where is it? Not that one. Hold on. I know I grouped it. Give me a sec here, Lady Trader. I know I grouped it. Where's the bars pattern? Wherever I have the bars pattern is where. Here it is. Okay. So it's this and this. This is
Mhm.
essentially what I posted, and I think it's what could be playing out, which is you're forming potentially a new range here, a new volatility range in this
Mhm.
descending channel. And if you get a move just to the middle of the channel, right, which happens a lot of times, if this is going to roll over and go much lower without much upside, you could only see a move to the middle of the channel. That puts you right there at like
Mhm.
66 to 67K, right? That's getting up to
Mhm.
that previous high. If by some miracle, like the bulls find enough strength to push it up, then you're seeing a move
Mhm.
up here near 72 to 74. And ultimately, this is still just setting lower highs. Like it still doesn't really change anything. And I know that if we start getting up here, this is where you're going to get all of the bulls thinking that they're geniuses again, right? Like that's where that's going to happen. The bottom is
Yes.
absolutely in. I told you the 4-year cycle is broken. All of you line drawers that are waiting until October missed it. Like this is where all this happens. It happens up here. It happens up here. That's why I want that so badly, because that happens up there. And so um, look, I think this is very much a possible scenario. It's going to take time, though. This is a weekly fractal, so this could take. And again, this is why you said it yourself, right? Like July
Mhm.
historically is a green month. I've been
Mhm.
saying I want to see a green July and then back to red. I want to see green
Yeah.
July back to red. So this is what I'm looking for. I think at least to the middle of the channel, which puts me at that like 66 to 67, and potentially towards the top of the channel, which would put me 72 to 74. Beyond
Mhm.
that, you would need to have something structurally actually changing that is now leading you to take out this high and then be shifting macro market structure. Something would be totally different if we go above that, right? So,
Mhm.
but for now, this is kind of what I'm expecting. I think that we're potentially going to go up and do something like that, but it's not going to happen in a straight line. If we look at BTC now, I can tell you already, we're at a potential resistance area. We're at the top of that range that we were talking about. We're coming into these lows here, right? So we're coming into prior lows, which could act as resistance. You're in a nice low volume area on the profile where there's a lack of volume here, right? You have this beautiful rounded volume profile, and then you have this massive dip right here. So that's an area to be watching. So I think there's a potential we get a rejection somewhere here. And I would be looking for a pullback. If we get a pullback, I think we can get a pullback under 60K again. Somewhere
Yeah.
down here is kind of where I would be looking.
Yes.
So
That's exactly what I was looking for.
if
Yes.
that does this, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm willing to still be entertaining a bounce there, but we would need to see
Mhm.
massive strength and volume. I'd want to see the gentleman suite and everything painting massive green buy volume down here. Like I would need to see that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
that's pretty much where I'm at right now. I think a lot of people are getting long way up here, right near this area where you got to be cautious. I think the next opportunity is definitely a move down here. I
Mhm.
think it pays to be patient. Let's let that come in. If you're not already in, if you didn't play down here, I think you wait for the dip, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think you're on point here, Bix. I was looking for I think there's also a fib level down there where you were pointing towards.
Probably,
And
yeah,
so, yeah. And what I think is going to be incredible. And this indicator, I have pretty much, I'm moving to it fully to Gentleman Suite. It's
yeah.
incredible. And it does tell you, like, whenever there is momentum building,
Hmm.
you can tell. I mean, it gave you that beautiful bottom entry. So
It did.
I saw it. I mean, I saw it live playing out. I was like, wow, it's incredible. I mean, it's telling you that this
Yeah.
is where you go long. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And
incredible,
it
incredible.
highlighted the pushes as well. Like this was also why I was able
Yes.
to hold. Like when I saw this volume come in after the dump and it painted it in orange. Orange is 300% volume. This is massive. This is telling you that people are buying it. And then we got the pullback and then boom, 300% volume again, 300% volume. So it's very much had interest on the way up, right? We're starting to see it
Hmm.
slow down a little bit up here, which is why I think that pullback makes sense. But yeah, it's looking good. Stable coin dominance broke down, right? So like this was another thing that I talk about a lot, and I covered this on stream that I was looking for I was either looking for a sweep and then a breakdown to the high side, right? Or I was looking for
Mm-hmm.
it to break down and then go back and retest. It still hasn't
Mm-hmm.
given us the retest, but I think that if we get this retest, Lady Trader, this retest is when BTC pulls back, right? This retest is essentially going to be that pullback on BTC here will be that
Mm-hmm.
stablecoin retest, that bearish retest, and then we'll see if it can catch a bounce, right? If it can get bounce from there, then boom, I think we send this lower, we send Bitcoin back up, and we see how high it can go. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I mean, just to keep it simple, I think there's opportunity right now. A lot of the alts are moving. Solana was another one that I took down here at like 67.50, I believe was the entry down here on Solana. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Solana moved away nicely. It is definitely now in an area where you got to start kind of being cautious here. Like this area here, you got to be careful. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Overall, it's looking pretty good. I think there's probably a pullback and then maybe another push in at the beginning of next week. But I'm leaning towards a cool off this weekend. I think this is going to probably cool off a little bit. Even if it's got one
Mm-hmm.
last push today or tomorrow, I think we get a cool off going into Sunday, Monday. I'm just kind of seeing it across the board. And then I'll end with this, and then I'll kind of hand it back to you for your comments, and we can always circle back. But hype has been one that I've been watching. Hyperliquid, I'm watching for the potential that it's maybe coming down to sweep this low here before
Mm-hmm.
it goes higher, maybe even a little bit deeper. I drew this squiggle on here, and anyone who's watching my streams daily has, you'll be able to vouch for this. But we drew this squiggle um, well before price had even done. I think it had done like this first part of it, and then we drew the rest of it. It's up at that area where I'm starting to pay attention. You basically on Hyperliquid have now gone above last week's high. And
Mm-hmm.
this to me is very corrective price action. This is very choppy. This is not impulsive. This is corrective price action.
Mm-hmm.
You swept the high of last week. I think the risk is if this thing starts coming back below that high again, that high of last week, very, very likely you're coming at least back down to here. If it keeps going, then you're going to sweep that low that I'm talking about, maybe even a little bit below that. So I'm watching Hyperliquid. I'll probably be taking a short on it if it sets up. If it doesn't, if it keeps pushing up, then I'm happy to wait. Maybe it wants to sweep the highs. Not stressing that, but I saw it as a potential move there. We'll see how low it can go. There is a very interesting channel on Hyperliquid. If you connect these recent highs to the ones before that, and then you grab the swing low, I don't know. I mean, a pullback at least to the middle of the channel, and then if it fails, bottom of the channel is way down here. So could be setting up some
Mm-hmm.
opportunities on Hyperliquid there. And the reason for this too is hype was running when everything else was pulling back. Hype is up like 200 or 300% on the year. So I also think that
Mm-hmm.
if we have a green July for everything else, I think there's a chance people rotate out of hype into the other things that have more upside potential in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
So we could see maybe money flow out of hype into things like Solana, XRP, Ethereum, etc.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think uh we're on point here, Bits. Love that. Thank you for a great take there. And by the way, everybody, just want to make sure that you are retweeting the stream today. And let's leave some good comments. We want as many people to get up here as we can today. I know it's going to be a busy day tomorrow for most people. So, but we might be able to catch some moves if there is a nice little retracement over the weekend. But great takes there, Bits. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll go ahead and share my charts. Give me 1 second. We'll talk about what we are looking at. Um, where did you go? Here you are. Uh,
Someone commented later. Hold on, I gotta address this. Someone commented every month got a new BTC dump incoming thesis. They're probably not watching Snibby. I don't know if you're watching Snibby. It's Snibby is their handle. Let me tell you
uh-huh.
something. Let me tell you something about Lady Trader. Let me tell you something about Lady Trader Snibby because you might not know
Uh-oh.
this. But let me just tell
Uh-oh.
you something about Lady Trader. Up here at 126K, and even before that, I will say even before that, and this is all on recorded spaces, and the evidence we have screenshots. The evidence is because of the amount of hate that this lady was receiving before this high was put in. Lady Trader has been saying that Bitcoin was going to top in October of last year for a while now, for a well before that happened. And on the week of the top, if not on the day itself, Lady Trader basically said, guys, the top is in. We're going to start going down for the next year. We said this on Wolf Spaces. We said this on FOMO Fridays. We said this on trading spaces that Lady Trader and I were doing every single day. And we have screenshots because the BTC maxis were all over Lady Trader. They were saying this lady's wrong. She's going to take a massive L. It's not going to age well. They were calling her names. They were attacking her faith, her ethnicity, her everything, her gender, because she said we were going down. And so you're saying every month there's a new dump thesis incoming. Well, how about we look at the simple fact that every quarter we continue dumping. Price goes up and then you dump. Price goes up and then you dump. She's just saying that we're probably going up and we're going to dump again. So look, you don't have to like it, Snibby. You don't have to like it, but this lady's not wrong. She's been on the right side of the trend. She's been on the right side of the information, and everything, even though there are pumps, it dumps and it goes lower. So she's happy to flip, and I know she will when the data shows us that something has changed. But there's nothing on this chart that is telling us that we need to expect anything different. We are in the bear year of a bear market cycle for BTC, part of the 4-year cycle. Everyone denied that was a thing, and yet here we are, right? There was a commercial litigator, a lawyer attorney, who is a very well known in the BTC maxi community, who was mocking all of this, saying basically, if you think Bitcoin is going to drop 50, 60%, you're moronic. You're dumb. You're going to take a big L. Well, guess how much Bitcoin is down since the time Lady Trader said the top was in. It's dropped over 50%. So, I mean, I don't know. Look, you guys don't have to believe it. I think there's a lot of things in life that there's evidence for and people choose to not believe, and that's fine. You're entitled to your beliefs. But I think it's always interesting to me that people, there's some people that you can show them all the data in the world, all the information, all the proof, all the evidence, and they're still going to say, nah, I don't really believe that. I just don't like that. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. It's like, okay, well then don't. But don't say that the data is not there, and don't say that this person wasn't accurate about telling you what was going to happen. So anyways, just had to defend there a little bit because those types of comments trigger me. We've been highly consistent in being every single week on streams, following up on what we said last week. We go back. There's accountability for the things that we said when we're wrong. There's accountability about the call we got wrong when we're right. There's accountability about the things that we got right. And the truth is, we've been more right than wrong. And you don't have to like that. You're entitled to not like that. But don't pretend like it's anything other than you not liking the facts.
No, I'm just so grateful to have you in my life. You're such a good friend and also such a great trader. Thank you for your kind words today. It made my day. It made my week. It made my month. Thank you for that.
It's just
No,
the facts,
you're
Lady Trader.
right.
Just the facts. I mean, it's yeah.
No.
It's things like that get me worked up a little bit, but it's fine. It's the world we're
Yeah.
in, and the fact that it takes a lot of courage, Lady Trader.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I have so much respect for people that go on live streams and share their journey and their takes. And it doesn't matter if you're just getting started or if you've been doing it for decades, because it takes a
Mm-hmm.
lot of courage to do that because of the type of hate and the trolls that exist and the comments where people are always, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter if you're right, doesn't matter if you're wrong, doesn't, like, there's always going to be someone that's going to have something negative to say, and it's wild. It's wild.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Absolutely, 100% accurate there. And it's
Mm.
unfortunate because when you're presenting, like if somebody comes to me and they say, "This is my thesis. Here's the data," like you did last week is the prime example. You were showing me
Yeah.
that candle because I'm like, okay, what is Bit seeing that I'm not seeing here? And when you showed me that candle, it's like, oh wow, that makes sense. I could see that. So be open minded, and and I did catch the move. I was
Yeah.
able to catch the move as well, and so you have to be open-minded enough to learn. It doesn't matter. Like I'm very good with historical data. I can nail down the tops and the bottoms.
Sure.
I'm great at some of the other stuff as well. But there's a constant learning that goes on.
Yeah.
And this is one thing about the Wolf Crew. We are such diverse traders. We have diverse methodologies that we just add value to one another.
Yeah.
There is no drama. There is no, I'm better than this person or none of that. It's like we
Yeah.
are all humble, humble humans, just
Yeah.
trying to do our best. But no,
And
thank
I've
you.
I've learned
Appreciate
a lot from you as well. So it's just like
it.
that's what it's all about. Is it's easy to fall into the trap to think that you figured it all out and that you know everything and that you're now perfect, but it's rarely the case.
Hmm.
Um, there's so much value in just being around other powerful individuals, and powerful can mean a lot of different things, but I think we're all a bunch of powerful individuals. We have incredible strengths. We
Hmm.
complement and fill in for each other's weaknesses, and overall we're just all leveling up together, and that's what everyone should be doing.
Yes. Oh, absolutely love that. Thank you.
No.
I'll go ahead and bring up my chart before we go back to bits of wealth because I do have some more questions about what he's looking for the stablecoin dominance and all of that stuff.
No.
So we'll go ahead and do that here in a second. But let's talk about BTC. We are, so as you can see, my indicators here looking fabulous. I will be using this very heavily because I've been testing it. So here's the thing. I am cautious about new stuff. Every time it comes up, I'm skeptical.
You
I've
have to
been
be. You have to
You
be.
have to be, right?
No.
So I've been looking at this, testing it for quite some time. I've shared it in the community. I was using it on and off, looking at it, and now we are to the point where I cannot live without it. And the reason is it's just an incredible indicator. So I'll leave the link down below after the stream is over so you can take a look at it. I think it's a fabulous tool. Combined with your strategy, it adds value. It gives you a lot of really great setups. You'll be able to catch moves constantly. It's pretty incredible. And then, as you can see, the channels, I'm working with
Hmm.
those as well because my methodology is very different from Bits. Remember that. He follows a very different methodology for trading than I do. I use traditionally just moving averages and price action patterns. And when I say patterns, I'm not talking about the retail trader patterns, right? I'm not talking about the head and shoulders and all of that. I'm talking about
Falling
the
wedge.
M's and W's. Yeah, none of those patterns. When I
Rising
say
wedge.
patterns, yeah, when I say patterns, because those retail trader patterns, they fail constantly.
Yeah.
The patterns that I'm talking about are the market maker method patterns where
Right.
you get, pretty much what Bits calls the sweep to the liquidity, right? I call it the
Yes.
stop hunt. And so you see the stop hunt to the high or the stop hunt to the low, and then you take M's and W's. That's basically my methodology. So
Right.
it's all about us basically doing that where you are looking at the probability and doing the best you can, right?
Yeah.
Coming up with perfect M's and W's, right? What are going to be
Yeah.
the valid? What is going to be the invalidation criteria? How are you going to work? And so when you add channels, when you already I have mastered the patterns. Like I can look at the patterns and I can say, all right, this is what it's going to do next. Like I could literally watch the live chart and say, this is what it's about to do next. But when you combine it with certain other things, such as this indicator, and then channels, things like that, it's just going to add confluence to your setup. Fibs
Yeah.
is another thing, right? I don't use it very heavily, but once you combine it with your strategy, it's going to give you those really nice entries, big entries, right?
Yes.
And so that's what we are here for. Now, for
Tao wants to give
BTC,
you a shout out, Lady Trader. Tao wants to give you a shout out. He says that
uh,
you called it correctly. So Tao was around on those spaces, by the way,
mhm,
when you were getting hate and stuff, and since then
mm,
he's been on spaces where he's witnessed that we've been on the right side of the trend. So yeah, shout out to Tao.
yeah. Thank you, Tao. I appreciate your support. And glad that you're here. Thank you. So for BTC, when we saw this happen right here, I think you guys were actually in the community when we were looking at this trade. What's so funny? I want to point it out. This particular trade right here. It was actually this pattern. When I say pattern, this is what I'm talking about. Just notice this pattern right here. And I hope that you all can see it. It's this little pattern here, right? I was looking at it and I'm like, yeah, there is no way this is going to be the bottom. And remember, a lot of people on X, they were saying, this is it. This is the bottom right here. It retested and it's now found support here. So this is it. We are gold. But when I looked at this pattern, I was like, nah, this is not good. Like this pattern is looking actually exactly like the weekly pattern, which is funny.
Yep.
We'll look at it here in a
Yep.
second. And then, so look at it, what it did. It basically retested this low, right? And then it found support here. And I was watching it. I was like, nah, I'm not buying this. Like, I'm not comfortable with this one. I think it's going to go hit 50 EMA and then it's going to drop. And so it did go up just like that. And then, of course, we had a nice little stop hunt. So it took out all the stops of people who bought here, took out all the stops of people who got the generational entries here last time, right?
Those are always
And
my favorite, the generational.
the generational entries, yes.
This is your forever long. You'll never.
Forever long, yes. And you can get those forever longs as long as you know how to do that, right? Which is what, like, Bits of Wealth waits for what he calls the liquidity grab. What I call it is a stop hunt. We both, with using different methodologies, we come to the same conclusion that we are both looking for the stop hunt and liquidity grab, right? So this is what happened. Now, what after that, so when we had this pattern here, look at the weekly. So just make sure that you are cross-referencing it. Look at what happened here. This looks exactly identical to the weekly chart that we will look at it here in a second. And that also tells you what weekly is about to do, right? Based on what M15 does. So that's another confluence for you. Where did it go? Oh man, how am I so far away?
You're way back. Yeah, you're way back there.
I was way back. Okay, look at this pattern right here. This is exactly the same.
Exactly.
Like you can't tell me this isn't the same, right? It looked exactly the same. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, it's fake. It's gonna go up and then crash. And it did exactly that. So now this begs the question though, like if M15 does what it's doing and cross this one already, what is this about to do? So I'm watching it. Of course, it's not gonna the charts are not going to do exactly the same every time, but these patterns, once you get enough chart time, you'll be able to tell, oh my gosh, this is a pattern I've seen before. And this is exactly what happened. I was like, this is exactly identical to the weekly chart because this is ingrained in my brain. Like I know this is like stamped on my brain, this chart, because of the way that I read charts. And so that's what really made me wait and wait for a good confirmation as well. And then what happened after the liquidity grab took place? Look at this. Then we had this beautiful volume candle right here, right? This green candle here, this green candle here. And here's the thing too, when you see something like this, like you're not going to see a green and red every time unless there is a very good reason, like what Bits of Wealth was saying, right? 300% increase every time you see this. And so when you see a volume increase like this and you look at this candle here, so you have your confluence. What I had my stop hunt to the low. I had this Deva's gentleman's suite indicator telling me it's green, it's good to go. This is where the buying opportunity is, right? This is where you buy. And then, of course, you catch the move. I didn't catch the full move, but I did catch some of it. And so I'm out already because I'm now looking at, it's been already 3 days. Now I'm looking for price to come back down. But this gave you entry here and then also
on the
here
on I took. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that was a beautiful confirmed entry, and I was watching that as well. And I'm like, okay, because there was a trend line or the channel here. I had this channel already drawn before this happened, and so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna expect price to come back down, retest this area, right? Because it moved fast, and it comes back always to retest. So when it comes back to retest, I'm like, all right, that's what it's gonna do. And I saw it live. And I'm like, okay, this is absolutely incredible. You see the red candle, the pink candle, and then all of a sudden you see green. And I'm like, okay, this is it, right? Off of this major EMA right here. And then boom. So if you entered right here live with this confirmation, you are good to go, my friend. And then, of course, I caught this one as well.
Nice.
And so I caught some pullbacks on this. Now
I should have added on that freaking pullback. I was watching it and I missed it.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna go back though. We are about to take liquidity, right?
Yeah.
And so now the next move, remember how some of the ICT method traders trade it this way, not all, because some people are going to be trading this only, where they wait for this setup, right? You get the pullback, you're done.
Hmm.
Or actually what they'll do is they'll actually buy it here. So they'll go like this, buy it here, put the stop loss maybe somewhere around here,
Yep.
and then
Wait
go.
for, yep.
But yeah, but what I like to do and what some people like to do is whenever this retest happens, it looks pretty neat, right? Like, oh, wow, it retested. You actually wait for the retest to be broken as well because it will be broken.
Mm.
And then you take that entry. Most of the time it will, not always, but once that breaks, it's like your goal because it took the liquidity for everybody who's buying the
Correct.
support. Now this is like your support. It's kind of like a retail way of trading, right?
Hmm.
So when you take the stop losses of the retail traders, then you buy. So this was the entry right here with the channel. So there was a fib level as well right here, and then this channel. So
Yep.
I'm like, okay. And there was also an EMA here. I can't remember which one. It was on my other chart. But when I was looking at it, or it might have been this one, the same EMA here. So when I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, it found support here at this fib level, but there's a channel down below and there's an EMA down below. So it's probably coming back down. So this was not the good entry here. And then if you waited, you were able to get a much better entry with the stop hunt underneath it. So now we are talking about the concept here, right, of the stop hunt that happened below it. What's the next move? This was the structure initially, right? So we moved off
Yes.
of this structure. What is the next structure? This is the next structure right here. So what happened on the next structure? The price moved up, right? Moved up very significantly. And then guess what happened? Right here, and then it came back and retested this. It retested this, so this was potentially an entry that a lot of people would take
Yep.
to buy. A better entry would be when the stop losses are taken under this entry, right?
Yep.
Which is what Bix was talking about when he's talking about the pullback. He
Correct.
says he's looking at the same area that I'm looking at. Why? Because there's also a fib level here. It is it's 0.854, right?
There
So
you go.
pretty awesome discounted entry off of this. And this is based off of the previous move. Okay, so we can calculate it based off of this particular move as well that just happened and see. But this is a fib level that's been working out nicely, so I'm using them right now, using this particular one. So I am waiting for the price to come back down, take the liquidity
Hmm.
um, under this, because where are the stop losses for people who bought here, right?
Yeah.
They're
Everything's down
probably
there.
they're putting it right here because this is the previous level, right? So it has to come back down and retest and take out that liquidity. So waiting for that to happen. When that happens, this will be a nice little buying opportunity right here that I think um, will be good. So I'm watching this level. I've already called it in the group in Telegram community, so you can take a look at that one. And yeah, but this will be the entry for the long if we are looking for that, right? Now there
Yeah.
is a slight chance because again, even though we took the liquidity and everything, right, we are good to go here. There is a chance that it could potentially break to the downside. So be open to that.
Yeah.
Um, what I'm anticipating personally is a big, massive move to the downside, looking very aggressive.
Yes.
That makes you
I'm
think
glad
it's
you I'm glad
over.
you're describing it because it's not gonna be a slow grind down. It's
Yes, it
if
is
you're
going to be
if
fast.
you're chopping up, like this is the what's that example? It's taking the stairs up right now. You're gonna get an
Hmm.
elevator down move, right? You're gonna get an elevator
Yes,
down move. So yeah, it's
yes,
not gonna
yes, yes.
be it's not gonna be slow. It's not gonna be like giving everyone a chance to get in long. It's not how it works.
Yes, it's going to be very scary, really bad. And then
Hmm.
what it's going to do, what I call the rock handle. That's what I call it. Why? Because it's a big momentum candle, and then after it basically marks the top or the
Yeah.
bottom. And we saw it with Sailor candle. It did mark the top. When I
Yep.
see those sort of candles, and I could see it, like I can't. Um, I'll say be careful with that, right? I'm personally
Yeah.
cautious with it, but when I know when I see one. Like yeah, I've
Yeah.
had enough experience to say, okay, this is it. This is the candle. And so when you see that, and we saw it on the long side as well previously, when the previous bottom was in place, we had this candle that was very significant. This one, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. So when I see a candle like this, a lot of times I actually buy it, but don't, like I said, it has to meet a lot of criteria. It has to be a level, it has to meet all of the good criteria. Otherwise, you're going to get crushed if you try it because you don't
Yes.
want to catch the falling knife. But I have successfully caught some of these falling knives. Um, and it has a high win rate as well for me. Now, if you try and attempt it, if you don't have enough chart time, it's gonna crush you. It takes years to master that. But you had these two big, big candles into a level, and then it bottomed out. So I'm looking for something similar. Right? If it gives me this, I'd be very happy. And it has to be hitting a major level, which I am watching that level to be 0.854, this one, right?
Yeah.
And so either hit this level or there's also a level here. So hit one of those levels, and then we can see what happens. So I'm looking for that big down candle into this area, and then that would mark the bottom and give us a really awesome upside. Those kind of like this raw candle that will give you the move for days. Once you get in, you're good to go. If you are able to hold it, because markets are going to show you different patterns, different things. But if you are confident in your trade and you keep that, you're going to be good to go. Just like how this one, right? Like this one
Yeah.
on gentleman sweet indicator on hourly was very clearly telling you it's done, it's over, we are going to go long here. But then again, this happens and choppy price action happens, and some people will be like, nah, I don't like it, I'm going to get out, I'll secure
Yeah.
profits. Well, this one is not broken, right? So stop loss is here
Correct.
technically. Why not just let it run? And that's when you add to your strategy has to be where you have a very high win rate. And so that's there. But yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for. I will say there are some areas that I'm watching as interesting, maybe potentially breakout levels. This one,
Yep.
I would love to see a more of like a traditional W. I haven't seen one after this move where it gives you like really beautiful pattern, sort of like this, with equal,
Yeah.
like it doesn't break the lows. It's just looking like a double bottom, because that's my dream every time. This is a trade I take every single time. What I do is I take the breakout trade off of this. So when it's invalidated, it's game over, and it comes down very quickly. It hits your take profit very fast as well. And so you have to have other, of course, confluences and different criteria overall. But I think this is what I'd like to see more of. But we'll see. It hasn't happened on this move to the upside, but there is liquidity sitting down below here. There's liquidity sitting down below here,
Yep.
here, and then of course everybody who bought the retest here. So
Yeah.
all of this liquidity needs to be taken, stop them all out, get them all out of the game, and then give us a beautiful entry. So we'll see. I will be personally looking for it. It's not financial advice, so we'll see what the price does here. So we'll be waiting for that. But yeah, I mean, everything else is again on schedule. We have the monthly chart right now. Also be looking for like how much this goes up. Right now here we have a
Yes.
really major level at 65K. There is also a level around 70K, which is your weekly EMA. We talked about it last week.
Yep.
You can go back and watch. And so you'll basically see all of those things. And right here, you will have more downside coming pretty soon. July, maybe we could see like a little bit of a green here. Maybe not. Maybe it won't do that. I mean, because there is a long ways to go. So July and October
Yep.
is coming. So October is supposed to be the bottom. October or November, if we were to extend it out a little bit, it's supposed to be the bottom this year, according to historical data. Now, whether it plays out or not, right? That's again, there's a high probability that's going to play out that way. So we don't have much time, and there's a big potential downside pending. So maybe it won't do that this time. We'll see. And also, I like to see 3 candles sequence. I don't like to see 2 candle sequences. I like to see at
Right.
least 3 candle sequence. So we had one red candle here. This is of course not like red on this chart, but it's gray
Yeah.
just because it's looking at the volume. But we had a bearish candle here, a bearish candle here. So I would like to see a third bearish candle, potentially taking out this 48K.
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
that's the next
a
level.
little bit
48.
above.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but keep it a little bit above maybe right here. Give us all generational entries. It's 50K, bros, because now it cannot go under 50K. There is no way BTC is gonna go under 50K. This is it. This is it. It's the generational entry. This will never break again. And then guess what? It will. And so I'm waiting for that. So maybe this month we get lucky enough to get to 50K. There will be heavy buying pressure at 50K. And then we can get, August maybe a little bit green because of that 50K, and then September and October final capitulation, and this is where I am looking potentially for the bottom. Right, I can maybe make it even go up a little bit, a little bit higher to 40K, but this is my level. This is what I'm watching, and so we'll see what happens. This is also funny that we had this move off of this level. It has not been retested, so there is that
Correct.
too.
Yep.
But because price always comes back and retested. Now imagine waiting a few years for it to happen. But uh, so we'll see. This is where I'm watching, right? This is just a prediction. We'll see if this plays out that way. So just the thesis. But yeah, so we will have right here, just watching this one, right? I would like ideally July to be red right here because I like to see 3 candles instead of 2, and then give us a nice little green candle, and then give us follow up red candles after that. So it's going to be amazing. So that's nothing has changed overall. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Let's see. So like I said again, on M15 chart, I will be looking for entries, re-entries actually, on a long position potentially here. Like I said, it's going to be pretty aggressive move. I'll be cautious with this one as well. But if it gives me like huge candles right to this level, yeah, that's game. I'm going to be very excited for this one, as long as it doesn't take out this liquidity. Because if it does take this out, then of course we are going lower, much lower. So, which is again a possibility that we do this move and it's over. Now we take out everybody who bought here. So that's always a possibility as well. But we'll see how price acts here. But those 50Ks, like lower 50s, coming pretty soon as well. Whether it's going to happen this month or next, we don't know, but it's coming. Nothing has changed overall. These price action to the upside, if they excite you, just remember what Bits was actually saying as well. And I was thinking about it yesterday that, man, people are probably thinking, okay, this is it. We are done. It's over.
Yep.
Now it's going to be upside. It cannot go below. But people are not learning their lessons that what the markets are doing to you is there is a perceived bottom in place. You get these perceived generational entries, and then you get crushed again. This happens over and over and over again. And so for a smart person, that should be a sign. You should be skeptical every time there's a pump instead of getting excited and saying, here we go, this is it. Be willing to question that. Be willing to say, all right, I remember what happened last time, right? And it's going to continue to happen for a while. It's going to continue to happen until October. Follow that historical data. Don't say, but 4-year cycles are over. It's not until it shows us otherwise. Are the cycles going to be different from, every cycle, like on the micro level? Yes. On the macro level, nothing has changed. You had the top in October. That should give you a very strong conviction because it just played out exactly how we anticipated. And that should give you a very strong conviction. And now the next move is going to be, of course, the downside and catching that bottom in October, which I will be skeptical about, as I've said it before, because of the yearly chart. And I've covered it over and over again. You can look at it, my previous live streams, that we had the ugliest yearly close in the history of BTC. This one. And something like this will easily send you into a multi-year bear market. Very, very bad bear market. So getting above this is going to be a challenge for the next cycle if we catch the bottom this cycle. So just be very, I'm being cautious here as well, catching the bottom
Yeah.
this October. So when we say 4-year cycles are over, they may be over, but for the other reasons, not for the reasons that you think, for the bearish reasons, not for the bullish reasons. And so that's a possibility. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. For now, just waiting and seeing how the weekend plays, and hopefully we get that big move. That's all from my side. Bits, I do want you to go over stablecoin dominance if you can today.
Sure.
I know this is a chart that you look at, and I know a lot of community members appreciate that as well. So if you could just quickly give us some takes there on what you're looking at.
Yeah, not much has changed. It's been mostly sideways, but what I'm expecting up here, and here, let me clean it up a little bit just to make it easier to share. What I've basically been highlighting and observing is the fact that, much like Bitcoin, um, Bitcoin had the low in February, stablecoin dominance had the high in February, right? Because they're inversely correlated, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the main thing we were watching for is if stablecoin dominance was going to continue higher, meaning Bitcoin and crypto assets keep going lower, you needed to get above that February high. You needed to get above that last quarter high. It's actually not that was 2 quarters ago now, because we're in a new quarter now. We're in Q3, but um, that was that high that we were looking for. And we had a couple wicks above it, but we didn't have any kind of closures or acceptance above that. And what's interesting is last week, we actually had the first weekly close above that Feb high. So you could see it here. I'll zoom in a little bit more, but this was that first weekly candle that closed above the high of February. So this is from back here in February. You can see that we got above it in June, but it was just a wick. Again, in second week of June, did the same thing, but it was just a wick. And then finally, last week, we had a move above, and it did close above that level. But what we're seeing is that this week we're actually coming back into it. And so this again, like when we're talking about those fake outs that you see in the market, this is the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, right? Like if I flip it over on its head, you had the fake out to the downside, and that now you're back inside that range. So stablecoin dominance has a very interesting candle as well. This
Oh
candle here
goodness,
on
yeah.
stablecoin dominance, notice that, right? We got the fake out to the downside here. In my opinion, there's an opportunity that it goes all the way across the range, at least here to this candle, at least here about to the median area. So if that happens, so then you can go look at Bitcoin on a weekly chart. What does that mean for Bitcoin? That means that Bitcoin is likely doing the same thing, right? So Bitcoin has also that same weekly range here, right? Bitcoin has the same weekly range, same thing. You've had deviation to the downside. I'm looking at least for a move to about the 50% level, which is that 66, 67, maybe even 68 if it sweeps that high. But it could go all the way across, which puts you near that 74, right? So
Mm-hmm.
similar concept. This is why I'm kind of remaining bullish right now in the moment, is because I am seeing using kind of candle range here that there is the possibility that this was just because you're doing this on a weekly time frame. So you basically had a weekly deviation is what this is, right? This entire move is just potentially a weekly deviation on stablecoin dominance and on BTC. So it's going to take some weeks. It's going to take some weeks to correct. Even if it is going to go lower, I still think it has a couple weeks. Probably sweeps this here, and definitely needs to sweep last week's low, and then it can go. So for Bitcoin, it'd need to sweep last week's high at least, and then fail. So that's kind of why I'm maintaining a bullish outlook here. Is I think there's a possibility that this thing is coming in, filling a little bit of this range, and if that's the case, I think it can go a little bit higher than what a lot of us were thinking originally, right? It can at least be going
Mm-hmm.
to 72, 74. So we'll see what happens. These things aren't perfect. They're not guaranteed. They don't play out every single time, but they're little things that, when you catch the timing and you're prepared, like you get a little bit of edge from that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all it is. So yeah, that's what I'm watching on stablecoin dominance here, is like, so far you had a move outside of the range, and you're now back inside the range. You've failed to go above it twice now. And so, to
Mm-hmm.
your point, Lady Trader, right? You were talking about like needing to see a structure break or something. For me on
Mm-hmm.
stablecoin, yeah, if we start losing these lows here, right? If this thing keeps coming down, then yeah, I'm looking for, if it does go back up, I'm looking for now something like this, like a lower high that's now going to put in a descending channel, and then this will work its way to the other side of that box over the
Mm-hmm.
coming weeks. So yeah, but it's pretty clean. I mean, you've got the high side that you need to get back above on stablecoin dominance. We keep failing to do that, and then you've got a swing here at the low that you need to defend if it's going to range up here, or if you see it break in a very clean way and come back and like retest with weakness, then you now have some structure. You've got some kind of channel you could probably put on this thing.
Yeah. And a bullish channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually,
Which
eventually.
exactly 100%. Yeah. So this is where people get like really, and I get it. Trust me, I have empathy for the new person who like you're seeing this and you're thinking like, man, this guy is such a bear. He's saying it's going down there. Guys, this going here is eventually going to reverse. This is a bullish channel. Like when this thing reverses, it's going to be epic. It means you're going to have to endure that period when it's moving against you. So same thing with
Yes.
BTC. Like what I'm telling you, right? Like with that pattern, that bars pattern, and with that channel that I had on there, I'm telling you that this thing is likely to continue going lower. We just have to endure this period where maybe it goes against you to the upside. But overall,
Mhm.
which way am I saying this channel is going? I'm still telling you that the channel is still going down, right? So um this is where you just have to have patience. You just have to have patience, right?
Yep,
You
exactly.
you,
And
you,
then
you got to wait.
patience. Yep, patience, and then be willing to catch those moves at the extremes,
Yeah,
like not
yeah,
not in the middle, not like, just
correct.
basically wait until it gets to those extremes and then confidently you take that and basically it
Mhm.
plays out that way. It's showing us so far. The markets are showing us so far. But yeah, incredible takes fits. Anything else that you're looking at, equities market or gold or anything lately? I know you've been mostly
No,
busy with
I
BTC.
mostly with BTC. Yeah, gold and silver, I think, are still they're at the here. Let me switch to my list. They're at like the bottom of where they could potentially get a short term bounce. But like I look at silver, and this is the big channel I have on silver. I really wouldn't get interested in like even thinking that there's some kind of bounce opportunity until it comes down to the middle of the channel, which puts it back here near the high from like 2011, and that's down at under $50 or around $50. So I still think it has some downside. But what it could be doing in the short term is silver could be getting a bounce up here near last month's low or last week's high, which would put it somewhere between like 68 to 72. So it could be heading up there, right? But nothing's really broken. I mean, on silver, I would say you could probably put a channel on this right here. Actually, now that I'm seeing it, you grab that low, pull that back. You've got a smaller time frame channel you can place on this price action here inside of the larger channel. Very clean. I'm looking either for a rejection at the midpoint, or if it goes all the way, that's fine. Nothing really changes. It can go all the way up here and it's still technically going lower. But again, to Lady Trader's point, this is a bullish channel overall in the long term.
Hmm.
It's just you gotta just wait for it to play out. Same with gold. I think gold, same thing. It could go up a little bit, but overall, I'm expecting gold to go lower. Same with oil. I'd say the same thing with oil. It's down in a buy zone. I've been talking about this on the Wolf Bitcoin Trader Talk spaces for the last like week and a half. I wanted a break below 69. We got the break below 69. In my opinion, there is an opportunity for a bounce here. Same thing. It's all the way across the candle range on the high time frame, and the top of the range has not been violated yet. So, as crazy as that sounds, oil could be making a move back up towards the middle of the box, so somewhere around like 87 to 90. And there's a chance it may run the highs again at some point in the future. But this is going to take out weeks, if not months, for it to move all the way across. So oil, yeah, to me, oil is down in an area of interest for longs. It's in a buy zone for me. Doesn't mean it can't go a little bit lower, but below this box, below 69, is where I start getting interested in like, okay, now it's at a discount. I need to be paying attention. And then just playing just random stocks. A few of them we've taken. Roblox was one that I shared an entry from way down here in the 40s, and so far that's moved pretty nicely. And there's been a handful of others, but look, I use the same system, Lady Trader. It doesn't matter if I'm looking at commodities, equities, crypto. I'm looking for ranges. I'm looking for when price is really extended in one way or another. I look for either a sweep or a reclaim, and I just play it across the range. That's pretty much what I do. So.
Incredible. Love that. So, bids for BTC on the weekly channel that you are looking at, what
Yeah.
is the bottom on that one? Like the next bottom after we get this upside? Where does it put us?
Yeah, it would be sweeping this for sure. Is that it right there? That's
Yeah, that
one way
one.
to
So,
draw it, but I think it was this one, the bars. There we go. This one from the bars.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because if we are getting momentum to the downside, it doesn't have to respect the channel to the downside entirely. It usually respects it to the upside as like rejection points. But yeah, I'd say the next
Mm-hmm.
move is you're coming into, sub I mean, look at the bottom of this. It's got you at 48, 49, right? Like that's
Hmm.
where you're likely to get that next bounce. Come sweep this, maybe consolidate here for a little bit, and then we'll see when the next drop comes after that. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. It could
yeah,
also take get
yeah,
out of the channel for a little bit and then give us
it
like that
can
fake out that the
100%,
channel was broken, right?
100%.
And yep. Okay. I love that. Yeah, I hope that we get some really awesome entries under 40K. If not, I mean, under 50K is
Yeah,
great too because um, when we were sitting at the very top at 126K, no one was even willing to like.
I know.
When I was saying, it's gonna crash. I was being cautious on what number I give because people were even 50K people
Hmm.
were having struggles with, and look at where we are today. And so,
Isn't that weird that
uh,
we have to? I find I don't like that I have to do that because I don't like the feeling of because I feel like I'm lying. I'm lying because
mhm,
I'm not saying what I know I should be saying because I'm afraid that it's unpleasant for someone else. And it's such a weird thing. It's like
experiences.
I don't like that about myself. I'm usually pretty honest, even if you don't like my honesty, like I say what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
But I do notice that with like TA when we're talking about stuff in a public setting, I do find that a lot of times I am tempering expectations and I'm like I'm a little softer on my take. Like if I think it's going to
Yes.
30K, I'll say like, I think go to like maybe like, 40, 30. Like I'll try and soften it some way instead of just saying, oh, it's definitely going. But look at
Yeah.
this. I mean, look at the gentleman's suite. Look at this hot zone right here that it's painted
Hmm.
orange. That's a 300%. It's completely unclaimed. I mean, there's another one down here
Hmm.
too. I mean, I don't know, I don't know if it'll go that low, but there's another one down here in the 20s. But those are two hot areas on the gentleman's suite that have not been taken.
Hmm. Yeah.
And every
And
other
there has,
area before that has, right? You had this one
yeah.
here, boom, price came and filled it. Then on the way
Hmm.
up, you painted this one here, and then price came
Hmm.
down and filled it. These two are unfilled.
Yeah. No, these are going to be filled, or at least one of them will be. See, the way I figured out like a middle ground to where I'm staying true to myself and then also
Yeah.
at least making people listen because it's going to be, like if I say, hey, under 40K, like, it's going to go
Yeah.
into 30s. That's very difficult. So what I've figured out, what works is I use the word under. So I'll say it's going
Mm.
to go well under 50K.
Yeah.
That's more digestible than,
Yeah.
hey, it's going under 40K, it's going to be in the
No.
30s, are you ready for it? Because yeah, people will, I want at least some sort of a reaction even if it's like a mad reaction,
No.
but 50s are, so it's like it's going to go well under 50K. So we'll be seeing those very soon, hopefully. The fun part is, though, one question that I repeatedly got asked when we were
Look at
at the
this
top
one.
was
Look at this one,
the
lady trader.
reason.
This one's not filled down
What
here
is that?
either.
Oh wow, okay.
That one's
Yeah.
not filled. Every other one has been filled. That one's
Where
not
is
filled.
that level?
About 13,
30,
14K. 14K.
13K. Oh my God.
Yeah.
14K. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you could
Yeah,
argue
see.
that this entire gap, in the volume profile
Mhm.
probably needs to get filled
At some point, yeah. But
at
it
some
has
point.
to
Yeah.
be a catastrophe of some sort for that
Yeah.
to happen. But again, I'm not going to say that because here's why, which is what I was going to say, is one question that I got repeatedly asked when we were at 126K was, what would be the reason? Like we had
Correct.
Luna crash, we had this, we had this. Well, the markets are telling you it's working beautifully without really much reasons. You can say that the
No,
war in Middle East is a reason and,
no,
come up with all those theories, but we haven't had a Luna crash. We haven't had an FTX. The fun part was last when people asked me, I said, I don't know the reason, what the reason is going to be. Reason is
no,
going to show up. Maybe there will be a nuclear war. We don't know. So there hasn't been a nuclear war, but there has been some discussion around the nukes in Middle East.
yeah.
So it's interesting to see how these things play out. But yeah, just
Well,
follow the
it's
data. Like, don't worry about the reasons.
like that's also a part of like a logical fallacy, though, right? It's because people want if you're asking for reasons why price goes down, but you're not also asking for reasons why it needs to go up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, then
Exactly.
how does that work? You need a reason for it to go down, but for it to go up, you're just like okay with there being no reason. Like, come on.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. And I remember there has been a lot of good things happening this cycle. One was like almost like a decoupling of S&P 500 and BTC because S&P 500 was sitting at all-time highs while Bitcoin was down quite a bit. And a lot of times people just become used to this. Okay, no, this is going to do exactly what S&P 500 is doing. It's not going to be, it works exactly the same. It doesn't. It does sometimes. Sometimes it won't. Just look at the historical data. Like, I don't care about comparing it with anything else unless we are in a bull market, and then maybe you're looking for some exit strategies and you do that, then that's fine. But just follow the data and it makes your life easy. You don't have to worry about the reasons why, because by the time you learn about the reasons, it will be too late, because then you're
Yeah.
going to know the reasons. You're going to learn it in real time. So might as well be like, all right, I'm ready. I'm out of the markets, right, in October. If the reasons are going to just show up. What if I miss out the move? Well, then I'll be smarter next cycle. That's basically what it is. And look at it. It worked out beautifully. And now imagine holding everything. Those people who are, proudly claiming they're not selling anything, what are they doing now? They're buying call options and things like that, because maybe you know, they lost a ton trying to hold it.
Mhm.
So that's been some interesting stuff happening. But yeah, this is really it's been a great week so far. We
Yeah.
also had Robinhood launching a chain, by the way, which is pretty incredible. We had there have been some good runners. It's a new chain, so keep an eye on it, because of course there will be some movers there, right? This is very early, so maybe look for some opportunities there. Not financial advice. I'm personally looking at some because there will be some first movers that are going to be listed on major exchanges. There is going to be some first movers that are going to get Robinhood support. You never know, right? So keep an eye on Robinhood chain. There's something happening there. Lots of degens. It seems like the
Hmm.
degens and the ruggers have moved on to Robinhood chain as well. So be cautious with that. There was a play that was launched by Virtuals Protocol the other day. That was up quite a bit. There was a cat coin of some sort that went up to, I think, 7 mil or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Lots of movers there. So keep an eye on Robinhood chain. Let's see where that one goes, and if there's anything interesting that comes out of it. I would love to see some good first movers on that chain since it's so new.
Well, I mean, you know what? That's the irony of Robinhood, right? Robinhood's story is supposed to be taking from the rich, given to the poor, but I think we're seeing they're taking from the
The other
poor
way.
and giving to the rich.
Yes, yes, it's
Uh,
the turn. Things
uh,
have been turned around. But hopefully they do support some of the coins that have launched there. Like, support them and get them listings on major exchanges, or even a Robinhood listing, which will be pretty amazing as well, like getting listed on Robinhood itself.
yeah.
So we'll be looking at that, of course, and see how everything works out. But yeah, that is all for today. Any
Yep.
final thoughts or comments from you, Bits, before we wrap up?
Uh, have a great weekend. Great 4th of July if you guys celebrate. And yeah, we'll uh, we'll see you all next week again. But yeah, be patient. Wait for the setup you want. Um, look, like there's definitely something to, because I hear people say also, like, trade the market you have, not the market you want. I
Hmm.
um I think there's some truth in that, but I also know that wait for the setup that you want. Trade the setups you want, not the ones that you get. And that means you're gonna miss some. That means you're gonna miss some,
Yes.
but I trade the one I want. I trade the one I want. I'm in control. It's like when you walk into a car dealership or something, you're the guy with the money. In the
Exactly.
end, whether you take a deal or not is up to you. You're the one with the money. You're the one that gets to walk away and say, nah, I'm not buying today. So just don't forget
Hmm.
that. It's no different here. You're the one with the money. You get to decide when you put that money down.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my goodness. I remember when I was buying a car, took me a long time to negotiate and
Mhm.
walking out and everything. And I got the I got the car at a rate that no one can beat in the US. Like, I called so many car dealers and asking them if they could beat that price, and they said, we don't know how they're giving it to you. I'm like, all right, no, I'll take it. And so yeah, it takes time and patience, and
Mhm.
you are the one with money, so you have leverage, and
Yeah.
you gotta trade what the charts show you.
Yep.
All right. Well, incredible takes today, Bits. Thank you so much for co-hosting it with me. Always
Of
appreciate
course.
you. We'll be back again with another FOMO Friday next week. Hopefully, Nat will be there with us to
Yep.
talk about the liquidity levels that she's watching. And yeah, we'll keep up with all of that. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for supporting us. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and happy 4th of July.